Hi guys, venturing into FP3, we had a very interesting session. We can see the true pace of the Red Bull. Like everybody was saying, we only see Red Bull come out in FP3 qualifying, then in the main race, and we see them pop up and start churning out some great lap times, and you're like, hold up, where is this coming from? A lot of people have said, I always overemphasize Red Bull and I'm not bringing data. I'm still trying to look for a way to get data from Formula One, bring it live to you. But I will do that as time proceeds. But what I want to say here is naturally Max Verstappen became Max Verstappen and he was churning out some great lap times. But the Ferrari was not backing down. Charles Leclerc understanding the setup, and now that Ferrari has been able to run the car low on this circuit and being able to get some good lap times on this circuit, Charles Leclerc has been on point. He has been leading all the sessions and he's doing a good job. Will he be able to do a good job in the qualifying? He led all practice sessions, and there's no time in Monaco that Charles Leclerc will not ramp into the wall or into somebody like he did yesterday. But today it was his teammate Lewis Hamilton that had accident. He was following some cars and got into their dirty hair, ran into the wall while he was trying to push the car to get some lap times in FP3, and that was the same wall Fernando Alonso ramped the car into in 2010 FP3 Monaco, his first race for Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton is doing the same, but we can see that Mercedes are far off the pace. Even the Williams look on pace. McLaren are in the game, they're in the fight. Yuki Tsunoda is not looking like he's in the fight, and if you look at it, they are using different nose cones for these two drivers, and that I think is affecting the speed of Yuki Tsunoda, possibly using the old nose cone while Max Verstappen is using the new one. Let's see how that turns their race into great one, or possibly where they don't want it to. But Charles Leclerc running into the higher 1 minute 10 in FP3, that's 1 minute 10 seconds and 9 tenths, which I think is a good time. We might be running to the lower 1 minute 10 for the quali, but the medium tire still looks like a good tire. But we have the two Ferraris in top 5. Charles Leclerc 1, Lewis Hamilton 5. Lewis Hamilton causing the last red flag that ended the FP3 session, with Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris stepping into the middle, 3rd and 4th, and Max Verstappen taking the 2nd position. But how would these guys churn out some speed? They are like 5 tenths away from each other from P1 in FP3. We have Alex Albon, Liam Lawson doing a great job today. His teammate Isaac Kaja did a great job, but qualifying session Liam Lawson was able to find some good pace. Carlos Sainz doing a good job, not far away from his teammate, about 2 tenths away. Yuki Tsunoda 9th, Kimi Antonelli and George Russell 10th and 11th in FP3. The Alpine 14th and 20th, Colapinto 20th. I think Colapinto has sat in that 20th position all through this practice session. The Audi or Sauber 13th and 19th. That's Nico Hulkenberg 13th, Gabriel Bortoleto 19th. Esteban Ocon is still fighting with his ass. He's trying to make something good out of the ass, but he has gotten some decent points this season. He has. But that is just the FP3. But who will take the pole position? I still think it's between Ferrari and Max Verstappen. I'm not calling it Red Bull now because the other Red Bull is not ready. It's between the Ferrari and the Max Verstappen. And if things work out for McLaren, they can pull a surprise on Max Verstappen and still get some decent points. But with McLaren team principal saying that he prefers the two drivers not to win the championship than prioritizing the driver, I think that is not a championship mentality. But let's see what happens in qualifying. Give you an update on that. So the main qualifying, I've said some qualifyings had look more interesting this season, but this looks very, very tantalizing. It was a great qualifying, though on a track in which we have a lot of yellow flags, red flags, a lot of happenings. This year's qualifying stood out, maybe because there will be a mandatory two-stop and also a lot of things will change. So most of these drivers brought their A games. They know that being ahead really matters. The race pace looked decent, but I still feel Ferrari has a better race pace. But seeing what McLaren brought to the qualifying, McLaren are looking not so, they have not come to play. They might have almost the same race pace with Ferrari. It's looking good for Ferrari. They have a big race pace. From what I was seeing in the data, it's looking like McLaren, Red Bull, Ferrari. Though race pace does not really matter in Monaco, except whatever we see tomorrow. And how strategy will pan out tomorrow is this: tires, weather, lap times. Drivers that can do decent lap times will get the benefit. They will have the opportunity to lead. And if you can stay in the 1 second, 2 second of the other driver, I think it will be a big bonus, a big opportunity for any driver that can do that tomorrow. If you can do that and gain some time, Monaco is a different track in which you cannot really say this is what will work or this is what will not work. And we're talking about the undercut. If you can do a huge undercut on another driver and on your opening lap you set some crazy laps, you can have an advantage. And if the other driver can set some beautiful laps while you are pitting, well, you're on your own. VSC safety cars will also be part of what will determine how the race will pan out. But let me give you a rundown of it. Before Q1, we had Lewis Hamilton changing his front and some part of the front left, and he changed the complete rear suspension and the gearbox for precaution because of the accident he had at the end of FP3. He had an impediment issue with Max Verstappen during the qualifying. How are these drivers doing some crazy lap times in Monaco? Now, what they are trying to do is put enough fuel that will cover you all those laps you will stay out, because the track evolves, and as the track evolves, there is a lot of ramping up that helps the driver to do well. In Q1, we had Kimi Antonelli 15th, Gabriel Bortoleto, Oliver Bierman, Pierre Gasly, Lance Stroll and Colapinto. And to Pierre Gasly, what a sorry performance for Alpine in Monaco. And Kimi Antonelli brought out the red flag towards the end of Q1, and that could not make some drivers improve their track. And like I told you earlier, that the qualifying is between McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull. And Norris took his second pole of the season. He's setting a new track record of 1 minute 9 seconds 9:54 tenths, which breaks Lewis Hamilton's track record of 1 minute 10 seconds 1:66 tenths. What a great qualifying it was. For me, I think these teams have not come to play. They take Monaco so serious. It shows that there is a future. There is something that these guys are chasing after, and if they can get it, it's a good one. Charles Leclerc in Q1 topped the timesheet. Lando Norris, Piastri, Verstappen, Russell, and Hamilton. Now, a lot of things to look at for the stewards. Williams, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, impediment. Lance Stroll and Charles Leclerc again. Lance Stroll is already having one place grid penalty for the race. Now he's having another one with Charles Leclerc. We don't know what the penalty will be. Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll, that track is tight, so it will be a very difficult ask for all those drivers. Kimi Antonelli brought the first red flag in Q1. George Russell brought the first red flag in Q2. He lost power. It was an electrical problem, which put him out and put his engine at the stall. So he'll be starting ahead of his teammate in 14 for the race tomorrow. And in Q2, we had Carlos Sainz out. Yuki Tsunoda feels like when he was brought into the track, he was compromised. Nico Hulkenberg 13th, George Russell and Kimi Antonelli. And those that top the time sheets for Q2, we have Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Alex Albon, Piastri, Verstappen, Hamilton. And we had Isaac Adjar entering the Q3 once again with a spectacular lap time. What a great driver this young man is. Alonso for the second week running entering Q3, and Liam Lawson for the first time this season getting to Q3. What a qualifying for Liam Lawson. I think he deserves it. Coming to Monaco, one of the toughest track, getting to Q3 is massive for him. And congratulations to Lando Norris and his family. His father was out of this world, and his mother, they were like, ooh, yeah, it's his own home race too. He lives in Monaco, you know. Most of the drivers is their home race because most of them lives in Monaco. So Lando Norris on pole, Charles Leclerc second. So they're starting on the front row. Piastri and Lewis Hamilton starting on the second row. How will these guys get out of the first corner? That's turn 1 tomorrow. Race into turn 2 on that fast corner, getting into the slowest corner on the grid, on the track, to know who will lead. Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how these guys will push themselves towards that side. And Max Verstappen starting 5th is not going to be funny. Max is not coming to joke with anybody. He's going to push everybody and make sure either you concede or you lead, he gets something out of the race. Isaac Adjar doing the beautiful job, qualifying 6th. Fernando Alonso 7th. Liam Lawson, great one. Alex Albon, wow, qualifying 10th, ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz in 11th. What a great season is turning out for Williams. They've had great qualifying, great race pace this season. But how will the race be tomorrow? Ferrari having good, decent pace. I think it's a race between McLaren and Ferrari tomorrow. Max Verstappen will feature in it, try and push them. And how will it pan out? I think it's going to be an interesting race. You don't want to miss it. I love you guys. Thank you for comments, the likes, the shares. You guys have made this channel a wonderful one. let's grow this channel. Let's take it to 100,000 on YouTube. Let's take it to 200,000 on Instagram. We can do it. I love you guys. We are trying to build a community in which everybody can interact on WhatsApp, and I would love you guys to come, send chatting. We can interact, build this community, make it great. We talk to ourselves, we have decent conversations, banter ourselves, abuse ourselves. That is part of the sport. Enjoy it. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Yeah.